Hey love bugs, welcome back to LoveGrind. I'm Ebony, your host, and I'm so glad that you tuned in tonight. If you haven't already tuned in, we are a podcast about love addiction and codependency. Make sure you subscribe and like, okay? Tonight, we're going to talk about signs your partner is unfaithful, and it's time to move on. Infidelity is a big part of partnership, unfortunately. So tonight, we're just going to walk through some of those signs. I get it, relationships are complicated. When you're in love, it's hard to imagine that your partner will do something to hurt you. But unfortunately, infidelity is all too common, and it can destroy trust, leaving you questioning everything you thought you knew about your relationship and about your partner. If you've been feeling like something's off, or maybe you've noticed a few red flags, tonight's episode is for you. We'll walk through some key signs that your partner might not be as committed as they say they are, and how to know when it's time to move on. Let's start with one of the most common signs, changes in behavior. Now, we all change over time, right? Growth, personal development, and evolving interests are all part of life. We're different from when we were 16 to now. We understand that, but when your partner's behavior starts shifting in ways that seem suspicious or out of character, that's when you might need to start paying closer attention. One of the first things to look for is sudden secrecy. Have they started guarding their phone more than usual? My ex always used to guard his phone, so that wasn't like a big red sign for me. I should have known then. Maybe they're deleting texts or keeping their phone face down when they're around you. That is a major red flag, love bugs, especially if it's out of the blue. Another one to look out for is a change in intimacy. Infidelity doesn't just affect the emotional connection. Not at all. It can affect physical intimacy too. If your partner seems distant, doesn't want to be physically affectionate, or suddenly becomes uninterested in sex, it could be a sign that their attention is elsewhere. But don't jump to conclusions just yet. Sometimes life stresses or personal issues can cause shifts in behaviors. However, if these changes are drastic and you've noticed red flags other than this, it's time to consider what might really be going on. Next, let's talk about emotional distance. A healthy relationship thrives on emotional closeness. But when infidelity is at play, emotional withdrawal is often one of the first things you'll notice. Maybe your partner has stopped sharing their thoughts or feelings with you the way they used to. They're no longer interested in your day-to-day life, or they're pulling away when you try to connect emotionally. If your partner becomes distant and cold, it can feel like you're living with a stranger. Like, damn, they're just your roommate at this point. You might also notice they're more irritable or defensive when you bring up certain topics, especially when it involves your relationship. Any small argument can lead to an emotional shutdown, which leaves you feeling alone and confused, and that's not how relationships should be. If they stop prioritizing you emotionally, it may be because they've already found someone else who fills that role for them. That is so hard to grasp, to know that you're at home doing your thing and they're out, filling somebody else up emotionally and physically. It's really hard to swallow. Let's talk about the lack of accountability. When someone's been unfaithful, right, they often avoid taking responsibility for their actions. You might catch them in a lie, or they may get defensive when you confront them about something that doesn't add up. They may even turn the tables and make you feel like you're the problem. That's a trip. And I just want to be loud and clear. You don't have to tell somebody where you're at all the time. But if I ask you, a partner who isn't willing to be open and honest about their whereabouts, their feelings, or the state of your relationship is showing a clear lack of accountability, making you question your own reality and your own doubts. If your partner is constantly denying their wrongdoing, shifting the blame, or refusing to discuss concerns with you, it's a massive red flag, y'all. Healthy relationships are built on honesty and trust, and if those things are missing, well, it's hard to rebuild what's been broken. It is hard to take somebody back after infidelity. And if you choose to, you have to be aware and conscious all the time of not blaming them, bringing it up all the time, right? What's the point of taking somebody back if you're going to do those things? So be careful, because that trust is broken. I know this sounds a bit cliche, even though we talked about it a couple weeks ago, but trust your gut. Sometimes deep down, we already know something's wrong. Our intuition is often our best guide when it comes to relationships. If you've been feeling uneasy, right, or like your partner's behavior just doesn't add up, it's worth taking a closer look. You might not have all the evidence, but that gut feeling is your brain processing small details that don't quite align. You shouldn't ignore it. If you have this nagging sense that something's off, you're probably onto something. And while you might not want to confront your partner just yet, it's important to be honest with yourself about how you're feeling, because your emotional well-being matters. I always like to have some concrete evidence when you come to somebody with something like infidelity, right? You don't get gaslit the whole way through the conversation. Also, I like to take into consideration the tone of my voice and the timing, because sometimes it can turn into something that it shouldn't be, right? So take those into consideration. When is the time to move on exactly? This is a hard part. It's never easy, and it's different for everyone. But if you've seen consistent signs of unfaithfulness, like the ones we've talked about, emotional distance, secrecy, and a lack of responsibility, it might be time to walk away. One of the biggest reasons people stay in unhealthy relationships is fear. Fear of being alone, fear of change, or fear of not finding someone else. But staying with someone who's unfaithful is ultimately toxic for your soul, for yourself. It erodes your self-esteem. It drains your emotional energy, and it keeps you stuck in a cycle of pain and uncertainty. Leaving does not mean you're giving up. It means choosing yourself, your mental health, your physical health, and your future happiness. Trust me, you deserve better. If you're unsure, take some time to reflect and ask yourself, is this relationship bringing me joy and fulfillment, or is it constantly making me feel insecure and anxious? If it's the latter, well, you know your answer. It's time to go. This wraps up tonight's episode of LoveGrind. Thanks again for joining me. And remember, relationships take work. It's not easy, but they should never leave you feeling less than. If your partner is consistently showing signs of infidelity or emotional neglect, it's time and it's important to take a step back and reevaluate your worth in the relationship. No one deserves to be cheated on, lied to, or manipulated. And sometimes the best thing for you both is to walk away. If you're struggling with a difficult relationship right now, know this, that you're not alone. We all have a betrayal story, sad as it is. And it's okay to seek help from your friends, a counselor. Remember to take care of yourself all the time. Always. That's what matters. Thanks for listening to LoveGrind. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, leave a comment. Make all the decisions you can this week with your heart. And until next time, love bugs, I'm out.